it will be a killer and a chiller and a thriller when I get the gorilla in Manila.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cassius Marcellus Clay. He's young, he's handsome.
They know it. I can pound a drink of water and kill a dead tree. Don't miss it, Muhammad Ali.
I've done something special. I've wrestled with an alligator. I've toughed it with a whale. I've handcuffed lightning, throw thunder in jail.
I'm as confident as I say, and I'm better than I say I am. I'm a poet, I'm a prophet, I'm the resurrector, I'm the savior of the boxing world. If it wasn't for me, the game would be dead.
Who would bet on flying paddles and beating me? Who would bet on Ernie Terrell beating me? I told you I was floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee.
I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. His hands can't hit what his eyes can't see.
Last week I murdered a rock, hinges a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.
I'm young, I'm handsome, I'm fast, I'm pretty, I can't possibly be beat. I told you, I'm the real champion. I told you, I'm the champion of the world. All of you follow. You'll be mine in round 9. And if you make me sore, I'll cut it to 4. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Welcome to your Inner City Wake Up Call, coming to you out of the port city of Wilmington, North Carolina. 365 days a year. I'm your host, Al Amin, a.k.a. No Covers. Yeah, they said we're a brand now. Good morning. Welcome to the Inner City Wake Up Call. Got a lot of things to cover. Not that much to cover this morning. I just want to talk to you. Sorry about the half-hour delay. I just got fussed out by Brother Sam. He told me I had him for 7:30, and then I delayed 8. I had to. I'm debating, and I think I'm figuring it out, how to keep the show at 7:30. I was telling him this morning, Tom Joyner and Steve Harvey and them boys don't have a problem. In the Muslim world, our prayer schedule changes when time goes up. So as time sprung forward, our prayer sprung a different time forward. So that whole hour springs us up prayer-wise an hour because we work as the sun and the moon. We work at that same Fajr time that it comes in to prayer. So as you move the time up, it changes our whole schedule off. Even our Friday Juma, our Juma prayer service on Fridays uses at 12:30. We had to move it up to 1 so that we can catch the prayer at the Salat time. For some of us, a lot of us, praying at the proper time is very important because it keeps a balance. It is as instructed by our Quran to pray at those times. So we try to maintain those prescribed times as closely as possible. However, what I think I'm going to do, more than likely, is move my sleep schedule back so I can continue that 7:30 hour. Because I like to get up, I like to study, and I like to make sure that when I come on these airways, what I'm saying is accurate and correct. And this particular morning, after seeing the manhunt on the way in Brussels, I knew it's a subject that I would run into this morning because there's no way I'm going to go on and talk with you or not talk about it. I wanted to make sure my information was correct. I wanted to make sure I studied and made sure I made correct information. And one thing about accuracy, when you see something that's not accurate or you report something not accurate, it's good to correct yourself right away. We had a habit in the Nation of Islam. Whenever I was to give a lecture and something was said wrong, if it was something that you said, and that's why you have what we call a recording secretary. If something was said wrong, you will send a note up to your rostrum. And before you closed out, you would have to correct that publicly. Because whatever you said publicly needed to be corrected publicly. You didn't wait and didn't send a note out, didn't talk about it next week. If somebody corrected it and it needed to be corrected, you go back and change that because actual facts is always important. So last week I posted a post by Fidel Castro, supposedly, where he said that the president would be black before the United States would come to visit. Well, it turns out that post has some controversy to it, that post was incorrect. And if you will notice on my page, I removed the post because someone brings something to my attention, I will correct it right away. And it's very hard, Mr. Joseph, since I know you tuned into the show, for me to Google everything and check. So sometimes we will post stuff that people post without checking the actual facts on it. However, when it's brought to our attention that the actual facts are incorrect, we will change it and check ourselves right away. And that we did. We took the post down until we can get the actual facts of it. However, I will point out the actual facts, it has been 1928 since any president has visited Cuba at all from the United States. 1928. The last one was Calvin Coolidge. In 1928, he visited Cuba. So, yes, it may be non-factual that Fidel actually said that, but let's look at the actual facts. The actual facts is Barack Obama is the only president that has the guts to go to Cuba since 1928. And when I say guts, that means the actual deal with a country that's 90 miles from Florida, that is predominantly black, let's use that, people of color, and try to have a relationship with them because they're steady coming into the country. Our brothers and sisters down there need our help and we need their help. So based on the old relationship with the old Soviet Union, there still seems to be problems with communism down there. So peace out to Barack Obama for his daughters and his family for going down there. Man, I see the post this morning. He went to a baseball game after the Brussels attack. Well, you want him to fly to Brussels? We get silly about some stuff sometimes. We just looking for ways to take pop shots. Okay, now, in the few minutes I have left this morning, I don't know if any announcements need to be made. If not, check my website. These books, this book is the Quran, Bible. All talk about war and acts of war. All talk about violence. They're very violent books if you read them. It's always somebody fighting somebody. However, it's puzzling to me, and I watch these Facebook lines, that whenever there is an attack nowadays that seems to be Islamic, immediately it gets quiet from a lot of us that claim to be Muslim. We act like we don't know what to say. We act like we're not studying. We act like we're confused in some kind of way. And I say that to say, I don't know what you're not reading. I read the book. We condemn all attacks of terrorism. Muhammad told us don't even harm a blade of grass in war. A blade of grass. He said be careful of harming a blade of grass in wartime. So we know exactly what we need to say. It's wrong. There is nothing else to say but it's wrong. And for us to be so vocal on police brutality. See, here's what happens. Let me just be clear in a few minutes like that. Here's what we deal with. What happens is we get caught between nationalism and what's true. So whenever it seems to be an attack on the world against innocent people, especially if we did it 911. See, I posted a post, Dear America, I Could Have Been a Terrorist. That's the new book. And in this book, I talk about that. See, emotionally, especially us as black folks, we're confused emotionally because we felt the pain of slavery. We know the atrocities in this world are not concocted by God. We know they're man-made. We know there's a beast. We know there's what you want to call it, Illuminati, secret society, and secret order. We watch those movies like James Bond Sector. We know there are families that control what's going on in this world. We know what's going on out there. We can see, we're clear on that. We know the company is crooked. Yes. You went slow. Look what you did to us. So what happens is when we see what we consume as revenge against the state or states that are practicing un-Islamic or practicing bad principles or have a bad character, we get confused on how to respond. The problem is not your attack against those regimes that are crooked. That's not the problem. The problem is not the attack against those societies that are crooked, those presidents, those dictators that's crooked. That is not the problem. The problem is when you take innocent lives. When you affect the lives of innocent human beings, then you must be condemned. There can be no excuse. That's why I play Muhammad Ali. Because Muhammad Ali refused to go to war to fight somebody else's war. We refuse. I refuse to go fight anybody's war other than my own. So we refuse to fight those wars. We refuse to be the aggressor. We refuse to go against another country, because if I go over there and go against another country, my brother is over there. My sister is over there. Another part of my human family is over there. Does that include white folks? For me, it does. I don't know about you. Yeah, I said it. For me, it does. I know he's giving me a book to reform the devil nowadays. He reformed them, and he's reforming them every day. So what gives me ability that I can't reform a devil? Yes. So yeah, some of my other families over there too. I refuse to go to war for anybody. Fight with this brain up here. Fight with my mind. Yeah, I could have been. I'll talk about it. There's times in my life I wanted to tear something up, man. When I see what go on every day, I see the crooked. There's times in this city I want to tear something up when I see the pain and the brutal attacks and the hidden meetings, closed door meetings, barroom conversations that's dictating the lives of the people. Yeah, it makes you angry, it makes you mad, it makes you want to strike. Yeah. The days I wake up and I see and have to read the news, and I can read the news. See, some of us read news, but we can't read the news. We can't see what's really going on behind the scenes. Of those of us that are awake and we read the news and we read the article and we can see the hidden hand behind the scene and how they manipulating the people, we get angry. We get mad. We get to the point that we want to strike. We want to fight. That's what you have going on in these world. You have upset people that can read behind the scenes and see the hidden hand. However, at the end of the day, we are instructed not to take innocent lives, not to destroy innocent lives. And I'm talking to you all nationalistic people, I'm talking to you Muslims, when we see that, we have to speak against that. That is instructed in our books, both Bible and Quran. That when we see wrong, be it even if against our own soul, we speak out against that wrong, we correct that wrong, just like we speak out against the atrocities that come against us. That is our instructions. They're clear, they're right, and they're exact. All is needed now is for us to follow the instructions to the letter of the law and let God do the rest. I've been your brother today. No covers. I love you all. I love what I do. Peace and blessings. Keep running.